In this video, we will look at 7 common Photoshop mistakes that you are probably making right now. So, let's get started. Now, this is for the people who are new to Photoshop and they don't actually understand the concept of resolution and end up using really low quality photos that just don't look good. Not only that, but when you zoom into this photo, you can see little boxes. Those boxes are known as pixels, and those pixels actually help Photoshop to make automatic selections. So the more pixels you have, the easier it is for Photoshop to do its job. You see, using low resolution photographs is bad, but combining low resolution and high resolution is even worse. What happens is that sometimes you might look at a small image and think that, oh, I can just simply press Ctrl T and make it bigger. Well, you can, but it will show and it won't look very good. Now, if you have ever seen any of my tutorials, you know how much I love adjustment layers and I use them all the time. With beginners, they might not even use adjustment layers when combining images and then the colors don't match. Or they go to adjustment and then they do whatever it is they want on their photographs. But the problem with this method is that in case you save your file and close Photoshop, you can't undo it. On the other hand, if you use adjustment layers, you can just simply delete the adjustment layer if you don't like it. Not only that, but you can actually use blended modes with your adjustment layers, which I've explained in my previous video, and you can also mask them. You can do a lot of things to them, so definitely watch my previous video if you are new to adjustment layers or layer masks. As you can see in this photo, no matter how hard I tried, I could not get it done with just using the quick selection tool. So what I did is I used my quick selection tool as much as I could, and then for this portion I would switch to my magnetic lasso tool. Then you can also feather the edges, which gives it a more realistic look. When working on renders or collages, the images you are using needs to have similar lighting condition. When light plays on an object, it produces shadows in a specific direction, depending on the source of light. So when you're combining 2 or more images, the light source should be the same. If it's not the same, combining them would be much harder and your final piece would look unnatural and very fake or unbelievable. Learning shortcuts is an important way to save time and energy. And when you start learning them, you might think they actually slow down your workflow. However, as soon as you have the main shortcuts secured in your muscle memory, you'll see your workflow speed up a lot. Another mistake committed by several designers is you mix too many fonts. You see, each font has its own character, and if you mix too many, it would make your presentation feel overwhelming. And then if you use only one font everywhere, it looks uninteresting and kind of boring. So generally, I like to choose no more than 2 typefaces. For example, one for the header and one for the body. And I like my headers to be strong and bold, so I use Bebas New. And for the body, I like thin fonts such as Arial or Helvetica. Even Calibri works well. Having that contrast with fonts makes your presentation really stand out and be easy on the eye.
Two hours later.
Now, how many times have Photoshop crashed or any other software or your laptop died while you're in the middle of a project and you haven't saved for a few hours? I know this is kind of like a no-brainer, but please get into the habit of hitting Ctrl or Command plus S every 10 minutes or so and you'll thank yourself later. I seriously have so many friends that always don't hit Ctrl plus S and I'm like, please, it's not hard, just do it.
Just
Do it!
And that is all for today's video. Let me know down below if you are making any of these mistakes that I mentioned today and whether you're making other mistakes. Share them down below. And don't forget to give this video a like if you enjoyed it and share it to someone who needs it. I'm Rasha Sharuru and I'll see you next time.